Today, I want to pull back the curtain on where wild wellness is really headed and why I am no longer interested in playing nice with the old model of pet health. If you're new here, my name is Jess. If you have been with me for a while now, gosh, what are we? We're going on 5 years of the Pet Parenting Reset podcast. And I am just so happy that you're here. I am so humbled that you're here with me. This has been a huge learning experience for me, just as much as it has been for everybody else. And one of the things that has really been going over and over and over in my mind is that I say all the time how selfish this podcast is for me. The truth is that when we speak our truth, that's how we find our tribe. And by serving you, I serve myself because every week I'm tasked and challenged to bring you new ideas and new people to talk to, sometimes the same people, but to talk about different things. And it expands my worldview. It expands my knowledge base. It makes me think so much harder, so much deeper about what we're actually doing. And so for the podcast, for Wild Wellness, I want to do a proper introduction to you, talk a little bit about the actual mission moving forward, what the feeding model I just posted about at Wild Wellness, what that is all about, what's changing with the podcast, what's staying the same, how this serves you as a listener more deeply, because so many things rattle around in my brain. So many things like, how do I serve the 2.0 and the 3.0 pet parent while also meeting that 1.2 pet parent, which I had thought about, but I hadn't put it in those terms. The first time somebody put it in those terms was a friend on social media, Brian, who has been posting a lot about this lately and trying to meet that what he calls the 1.2 pet parent. And I can't take credit for that by any means. I did not coin that phrase or that term, 1.2 pet parent. But meeting everybody is so difficult when, that old saying, when you try to please everybody, you please nobody. So where do I actually want to go with this? What do I want to bring you? How do I want to bring you with me? And the thing that makes this so much harder than I ever thought it would be, even though I enjoy this so much, is that constant imposter syndrome, because I have learned so much. And what I'm realizing is it is so easy to sit here and talk about it. It is harder to put it into practice. There are things that I want to do for me and my pets that I just haven't gotten there yet. So part of this is going to be us learning and growing together. And no, we're not going to all be able to do it at the same speed, at the same pace, maybe not even in the same order. And that is okay. Let's start over, because what the heck am I even talking about? And that is the mission. When I put together the new website, Wild Wellness Pet, it was because I just have this burning desire in my soul to return to nature, to return our pets to nature, to help you learn about the things that will also help you, whether it is returning to nature or bringing nature back inside of your home any way we can. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And one thing I know for certain is that nature provides. And that isn't to say that I'm completely anti-allopathic medicine. There is a time and a place for it. I am so grateful for emergency medicine. I am so grateful for painkillers when they are needed. I am so grateful for that help, especially, when we have something really acute going on or we're at end of life and we just want to make our pets comfortable. I am so grateful for all of that. But that should not, I do not ever want that to overshadow the power of nature, the power of what the earth provides for us, because we should not be living on the land. We should be living with the land. And we have gotten so far away from that, myself included. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And again, that gives me huge imposter syndrome, but I am going to take steps to either get there or bring nature back into my home as it is, because at the same time, like, I don't wanna live in a cave, right? Like, that's not exactly what I wanna do. I do want the comforts of home. I also want the benefits of what nature provides to us, and I think there is a good balance to that. We're all gonna have to find our own balance in that. Boy, did I even give a really proper introduction? I may not have, especially if you are new here. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Jessica. I'm a holistic pet health coach, canine nutritionist, raw nutrition certified with Dr. Billinghurst, and none of that makes me special, but I am here providing this content to you for free every single week. And it is my greatest honor and my greatest pleasure to be able to do that to you, to be able to bring more knowledge into your life, to better your pets' lives. And so here we are. And so many things have changed in my life over the past year. I could never in a million years imagined me being where I am today, and I have so much growing and building to do. And I'm just going to be honest and take you along this journey with me, because I am growing and I am building, and I feel like part of me feels like I am building from like the ground up, from nothing. I'm starting over. And that isn't entirely true, because I haven't lost all of the knowledge that I have. I just have to put it back into place, put it back into perspective. And building this new website is helping me do that. So that is the mission, bringing nature back for everyone, our pets included. What that doesn't mean is biohacking. Biohacking is something that has me so antsy. I have fallen for some of it. I can't lie about that. I definitely have. I think there is a value in biohacking influencers because they are finding the really cool things that we all need to be aware of. We just may not need to be as influenced as they want us to be about it. I don't want to live in this biohacking world. I think biohacking is trying very, very hard to keep us disconnected from nature while finding the benefit from nature. And so I kind of want to get out. I definitely don't want to be in that like mindset of biohacking, but I do want to understand what the biohackers are doing and why, and then how can we actually replicate that in nature? Is that possible? Of course, I'm sure it's always possible, but how do we do that effectively? Can we do that effectively? Because again, the also another reality we have to live with, and I talk about this a lot, is that how we live today, we live in a toxic soup, especially here in the United States, and it's getting worse and worse and worse in other, first world countries. I seem to like, maybe it's because I live in America that I just feel like it is so much worse here, but actually, I think there's a lot of proof that it is so much worse here just by the fact that, companies make foods for America that are so much worse than the foods they make they make the exact same things for the rest of the world, and it's healthier. But here, no, we have to load it with corn syrup and artificial dyes and natural flavors, which is a whole thing. I'm going on a lot of tangents here, but back to biohacking, I think these people are onto something. I just think that they're going about it the wrong way by still removing ourselves from nature. So that's my 2 cents on that topic. But that is the ultimate, like, my core mission with Wild Wellness is helping pet parents like you return your dogs and cats, and yourselves, by the way, to nature with your mind, with your body, with your spirit, with our environment as much as possible. Food is the entry point, but it is not the whole story. And for a very long time, I have preached that food is the beginning and the end. I've tried to leave it open, but I feel like the message has been so strong around food. And don't get me wrong, food is huge. It informs our cells. Like what we are, what we eat is real, but it isn't the whole story. And I want to try to put that whole story together better. So what this is not perfection. This is not fear-based. This is not obsessing over rules and spreadsheets. This is a relationship. This is instinct. This is learning to feel what our gut is telling us, to understand and connect with our intuition, even when it comes to our animals. This is understanding what nature has given us and being thankful for it and reminding the earth, reminding her every single day how grateful we are for her and for what she gives to us. So let's talk a little bit about rewilding your pet's diet. That's what I call it. You can go to wildwellnesspet.com. It is linked right. I put it in the navigation bar. Rewild your pet's diet is right up there at the top. So you can read all about it. And I detail it because dogs are facultative carnivores, cats are obligate carnivores. And I think what triggered me the other day to actually sit down and record this episode for you and talk about this feeding model is that I once again had somebody ask me how they can help a client who is choosing to feed her dogs a vegan diet. And I just wanted to blow a gasket. I truly, truly just wanted to blow a gasket and just tell this woman, who, by the way, her dog is dying and she is apparently refusing to do anything more than a vegan diet for her dog. And I just wanted, like, I hate the idea of anyone telling anyone else that they are doing something wrong with their pet because we're all doing the best we can. But I have to say, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, believe if you are choosing to feed your dog or your cat a vegan diet, and for no other reason than you are vegan and you refuse to bring animal products into your home whatsoever, one, I really want to encourage you to do more research on veganism and the damage that that is doing to our planet. The monocropping, the industrial agriculture, the insane amounts of pesticides that are being used to create enough plant material, the animals that are being killed to till the earth, to monocrop, to kill the dirt, which is a whole thing in itself. When the dirt is dead, the planet is dead. And how many animals are dying to be able to feed you that vegan diet. And I want you to understand that. Not because I think that vegans are bad. I don't. I used to be vegan. You can be vegan all you want. I just want you to understand what it actually is you're doing, and also understand that dogs and cats cannot be vegan. They are carnivores. I have heard very few, very rare use cases in which we may need to do, because our dogs and our dogs, never our cats, our dogs are so unhealthy today that for a short period of time, we may need to remove animal protein to rebuild the gut so that we can reintroduce animal protein. It is rare. And it is the absolute last resort. But that set me on edge because I don't know how to work with somebody like that. That's just never going to be me. I'm sorry. I'm never going to be able to work with you if you willingly choose to feed your dog, or heaven forbid, your cat a vegan diet simply because that's what you want and not for some medical necessity. So I think that set me off. As you can tell, that set me off. So yes, species appropriate nutrition is going to be the foundation of everything we talk about, because when we understand that our dog is a canine, our cat is a feline, they are not little humans, cats are not small dogs, dogs are not small humans, that is not the realm we live in, then we can start to understand the differences. I think what it can do is help us start to understand the way the world actually works. And I don't mean society, I mean nature, the way Mother Earth actually works, the ecosystem that we should be living in, that we should be living with. I think it helps us understand our place, which, by the way, I don't actually believe is at the top of the food chain. Certainly, there are animals that will eat humans. We may have cognitive abilities that we just have not been able to pinpoint in other species, though I do think dolphins, octopus, I actually learned this recently. It's not octopi. I used to think that when I was growing up. It is octopuses, which is interesting. Anyway, there are creatures on this earth. Just because they don't speak a language we can understand does not mean that they don't have consciousness, that they don't have intellect. In fact, they they live in harmony with nature, and I would say that that intellect probably supersedes any intellect that we have that is causing us to live against nature. That's my own personal opinion. But to actually learn and feel and start to understand our place in the ecosystem, our place as responsible guardians of dogs and cats, then we can start to understand, oh, yeah, this is like actually how they should be eating. And it's not based on a spreadsheet. Dr. Billinghurst said it perfectly. Humans, dogs, and cats are the most researched nutritionally in the history of the world. Humans, dogs, and cats are also the sickest species in the history of the world. Like, that's a mic drop, in my opinion, for what is wrong. Because this is not what we need to be doing. We do not need to be analyzing this to death. We can get into AFCO and talk about how, commercial foods need to have regulation. Yep, sure, go right on ahead. But if we are feeding as nature intended, we're very likely not feeding commercial foods. We may be supplementing commercial foods, but the base diet is not going to be commercial. We can't achieve that commercially. Not with the way AFCO and the big pet food industries are set up today. I just don't see it happening. So I would want to keep this episode on the shorter side, if that's even possible at this point. I would encourage you to please go to wildwellnesspet.com, click on Rewild Your Pet's Diet, and read all about that. Because, one, I actually would love to hear your input on that, on what I've posted, because I truly in my heart believe, after every professional I have talked to at this point, and by the way, this is because I am willing to learn. I am willing to say I was wrong and learn something new. And I will forever be willing to learn something new, realize I was wrong, and change my opinion. That is something I hope to never give up. And if I ever do that, please smack me across the face. But this is where I am. I really want us, with this podcast especially, to really dive in and understand what it means to live with nature. So I will be doing more solo episodes. I have been asked to do more solo episodes. I will be doing more solo episodes, probably some case study episodes, which I think are really fascinating. When I can, obviously, I won't give any like personal details of the people or pets involved, but when I can tell you what it is I actually do, I think that can help people understand what they can actually do with their pets. So yes, there's food, there's clean air. How do we do that? Like, how do we, like, we kind of almost in some places are going to have like HEPA filters and different things in our homes because they're literally just poisoning the skies above us, here in the United States at least, intentionally for weather modification. Clean water, that's a big topic. I was terrified to talk to Sidian because I still, I still don't know what I'm going to do about why. Like, I know what I'm doing right now and I know it's not great. I still want to do better with water. How do we get there? Obviously clean food as much as possible, regenerative agriculture as much as possible, light and circadian rhythm, frequency. These are things that the earth gives us that we have removed ourselves from. And I really want to dig into those more because it is a whole picture. Being able to be alone with yourself, how many of us do that anymore? We have to be able to be comfortable with ourselves, to regulate our nervous system, to even have a possibility to have an animal that we care for have a regulated nervous system. It's a back and forth with us and our animals because yes, I talk so much about the gut and the terrain of the gut, and that is so important. But you know what? We can have the best diet in the world, we can take the best supplements in the world, our pets as well, and if we don't have a regulated nervous system, if we don't take care of those thoughts, those negative thoughts that we're having, if we don't take care of the things that we have in our environment, the news, the television, the constant checking social media, if we don't take care of those things as well, we will not have a regulated nervous system. It just isn't going to work. And we need to have a regulated nervous system. So I talked a little bit about what's going to change on the podcast, more solo episodes, more case study episodes. Well, I actually don't know that I've done too many like intentional case study episodes, but we're going to talk about it. Real dogs, real families, what we tried, what worked, what didn't work, how we made the decisions going forward. The guests are going to be even more curated, and this is something that I'm not going to lie, I'm struggling with, because I feel like I have done a pretty good job curating guests in the past, meaning that I have cut the guest list down tremendously because there's just so many viewpoints that I don't necessarily agree with and I don't necessarily want to bring to you. And on one hand, that sounds horrible. Why shouldn't I talk to people that I don't agree with? I should talk to people that I don't agree with. But on the other hand, do I want to put more of that in your head? That's a hard thing for me to weigh out, and that's my responsibility, not yours, right? And that's why I'm the one doing the podcast, because I decided to take on that responsibility. So that's something that I am still going to have to weigh heavily. Do I talk to people that I don't agree with? Part of me wants to, especially if we're going to learn something from it. So we'll figure that out as we go. But I'm definitely going to be prioritizing people who can help us with that mindset shift that I truly, truly believe, you and me both, we need it. We need to bring ourselves back to living in nature, with nature, as much as possible. So those are the conversations that I'm going to be prioritizing moving forward. Bringing you a podcast every single week, that may be very difficult. We might talk to some people just for funsies. Not gonna lie. I like talking to people for funsies, but we're going to be a little bit more intentional as well. And my hope is that it serves you on a very deep level, whether you are that 2.0 pet parent or that 3.0 pet parent, or you're that 1.2 pet parent who is just like, I mean, my vet is telling me this and my vet is telling me that, and like, I'm doing it, but I'm not seeing the results. And I trust my vet, but I'm not seeing the results. Great. I want to talk to you too. And hopefully I can do better moving forward, structuring these episodes to where I am including you better in these conversations. If that's you and you feel so overwhelmed with the conversations that I have had in the past, please reach out to me and let me know, because it truly is my intention to help you in the same way I'm helping everybody else. So this is where we are. This is the model moving forward. This is where wild wellness comes from rewilding ourselves as much as possible. And this is for me to do too, because I live in a hugely convenient world, just like you do. And living in the middle of the woods sounds amazing, but also I don't have any idea if or when I'm ever going to get there. So how do we live with nature and still in the society we have today? This is going to be the question I ask every single episode moving forward, because we may not be pitching a tent outside with our dogs every night, but are there benefits from that we can bring into our lives as we live them today? Maybe. So those are going to be the questions I ask moving forward. And while I don't want you sitting around thinking you're going to have to buy a bajillion gadgets and use its and what's its galore, because apparently Ariel's in my head right now. There are some really cool ones that maybe if you just choose one, maybe if you save up and buy one and you see how incredibly beneficial it is, then we're going to try to do some other things as well that are going to bring us back closer to nature, that maybe don't involve the next gadget, but involve us going outside when the sun is rising in the morning. Boy, I wish that could be me. I want to be a morning person so bad. I'm just not there yet. We'll see if it ever happens in this lifetime. But so I've got a red light therapy device because I don't know how to get up when this with the sun. I would love to, I just don't know how to. I'm such a night owl. I need to figure this out. Like, if you get emails from, if you're one of my clients, you know that you regularly get emails from me at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning because I am such a night owl. I want to change that so bad. I want to change that so badly. So we're going to talk about that too. This is as much about me getting back to nature and me being the example and setting the example as it is for me helping you learn right along with me. So let's do that. Let's learn right alongside each other. Let's be more intentional about living with the land, living with nature as much as we possibly can. And what can we do in place of things that we're not able to do because of the society we still need to exist in? Those are the questions. Those are the topics we're going to be talking about moving forward. And like I said earlier, I would love so much for you to check out the Rewild Your Pets diet. Even I'm not even asking you to join the program. Yes, there is a program there if you want to work with me for 6 months to actually rewild your pet's diet. Great, that's wonderful. But I'm not asking you to do that. What I am asking you to do is just read. I put a lot of time and effort into writing out what rewilding your pet's diet actually looks like and means to me. And I would love so much your feedback. So, so much. Because, like I said, I've learned so much from so many experts. And I truly, like, this is just what I'm being called to do at the moment. And I hope it resonates with you too. So, yeah, I'm going to bring some guests back moving forward, guests that we have already talked to, that we have already learned from, but with this new mindset and this new vision that I have for Wild Wellness, and as an extension of that, the Pet Parenting Reset, I want to talk to them with a new mindset. I want to talk to them about this paradigm shift that I feel like we need to have. And so I'm going to start with, I am very painstakingly, slowly building out recommended brand pages, which is also linked on Wild Wellness Pet. You can see my recommended brands. They're not all linked to a page yet because I'm writing them one by one, what they are, why I love them, how they fit in with the wild wellness model mindset. I'm writing all of that out. It is something that just takes a lot of time, and I am only one person. If I have discount codes, those will be available to you. If you see something and you're like, I don't even want to wait for you to write about this. I know I already want to try this. What's the discount code? Reach out to me. I will get you the discount code because this isn't just about me building a website and having products for sale, which I love the curation of products that I have so far available for you, but I want to be so incredibly intentional with this website that there is absolutely nothing on it that doesn't meet the criteria of wild wellness, of bringing us closer to nature, of learning about real health, real healing, connecting with our bodies, letting our animals, getting our animals in an environment, a situation where their bodies do what they do best, just like ours, which is heal itself. And how can we set up the body to be able to do that, to get the body as close to homeostasis as possible? So we're going to dive even deeper into homeopathy. We're going to dive even deeper into herbs. We're going to dive even deeper into reproductive foods, fur, feathers, actually feeding whole prey. We're going to dive so much deeper into these topics and along the way talk about how we need to be helping ourselves as pet parents regulate our own nervous systems so that our pets can also have regulated nervous systems. That's something that we don't talk about enough. I am going to have some recommended animal communicators on the website. These are all things that are just living in my head right now that I'm going to get to, I promise. And if there are things that you want from me, if there are resources that you want from me that you want to see on the website, I will please reach out to me and let me know that as well. So again, if I can only ask you one thing, please go read about the Rewild Your Pets diet. Let me know how that feels to you. Let me know, does that resonate with you? Let me know if there's something you disagree with. I don't expect us all to agree, and that's fine. Every animal is an individual, and I tried to leave that open in the model as well. Understanding that every animal is an individual, understanding that there are different times and places where we need to make adjustments. I tried to leave that open in this model of feeding as well. So go check that out, and please let me know your thoughts on it. I can't wait to hear how you feel about the changes that are coming with the pet parenting reset. And it is all because of Wild Wellness. It is all because I was backed into a corner and my life upended, and I am rebuilding. And when I sat back and I said, what does rebuilding look like? It can look like anything I want it to look like. What do I feel? What in my soul feels right? And this is what feels right to me. So there it is. I hope that makes sense. I hope that all of this resonates with you. And I really, truly do hope to hear from you. Whether that's through email, whether that's through Instagram DMs, whether that's through the website. You can go to thepetparentingreset.com and actually leave me a voice memo. That would be incredible. I love to hear from you guys. However you want to reach out to me, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and end today's episode. I want to say thank you again for being here. I'm so humbled by everyone who listens, everyone who reaches out to me every week and says, you talked about this, and I have this question. Do you remember that episode a few months ago? Or, there are so many things that people reach out to me for, and I love it every single time, every single time you do. So with that, again, I'll end this episode. Please give your pet some extra love from me. Think about how we can live with nature again. Let me know what that means to you, and I will talk to you next week. Before you go, if today's episode got you thinking about what's really going on beneath the surface for your pet, don't forget to check out wildwellnesspet.com. You'll find the Wild Wellness Bioenergetic Test to help uncover hidden stressors, plus a curated apothecary of holistic remedies to support true root cause healing. Visit wildwellnesspet.com to start building a calmer, more vibrant pet from the inside out.